As you can see, everyone is still praising God. Even technically the two apostles, the other founders of the Breakfast Club, Shawn Michaels and John Cena, are even, in deference to Triple H. You ready for another Q&A?
Let's do this.
Alrighty, good deal. Let's fire this bad boy up. At Max_Jones6 asked, when is Smokey getting his own Raw review? He only gets like 30 seconds of camera time. Well, it's not entirely true. You should check out the Impact reviews every week. He gets usually more than 30 seconds of camera time on there. I don't think he wants to do his own Raw reviews.
There's not enough guys that he cares about.
To be real, maybe get a Raw review from him one time on his own because Mark Henry's on the show, but yeah. I mean, that would be... If they give you Sheamus versus Mark Henry at WrestleMania, then all bets are off. Ryback versus Mark Henry, you might see Smokey go into, 350 reasons Ryback sucks mode. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Next question. At XLittleNickX365, do you think WWE will honor the Macho Man Randy Savage's wishes to induct all of the Pafos into the Hall of Fame?
No. Sadly.
You don't?
No.
I think they will. I think they should. It's one of those things, I don't really know if Randy's on record saying that. He might be. If he is, and I've missed it in the past, I apologize. And I'm not necessarily saying that Lanny's lying, because I don't think he is, because I do think that's something that Randy would actually insist upon. I could believe that he'd want his father and brother inducted with him as a family unit. I think at some point in time they will, just because of the greater thing of, when you look at some of the people, like Coco Beware's in there, and Drew Carey's in there. I mean, Angelo and Lanny Poffo would deserve to be in there, so I don't see why you'd protest so much. At Dr. Uncle Pants. That's a nice name. What are the best wrestling cities in your opinion?
Chicago.
Mm-hmm. New York.
Waterloo. NWA was started here, bitch. We got the Dan Gable Museum. Off the Rope show's located there.
It's pretty happening hotbed for professional wrestling, if you will. Philadelphia is another one. Baltimore. Milwaukee. Milwaukee. Yes.
It means of the good land.
Are we going to go there right now?
Probably not.
Okay. We could, though. That was fucking awesome. What movie is he referencing? Comment down below. Other great wrestling cities. Dallas, Texas. Not San Antonio. I'm trying to think here. Minneapolis, obviously, has a rich and storied history. Atlanta. Charlotte. Greensboro. There's a lot of great wrestling cities. Let's see here. At Put Me Over Bitch, one of my favorite Twitter handles. Do you think Ryback has to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 29 in order for his push to be considered somewhat of a success?
It definitely wouldn't hurt it. Probably should have won the Rumble.
You could maybe argue he should have already had the belt by now, but at least they could have had him win the Rumble.
But they had to put him against John Cena. What are you going to do?
Even though you're rocking a Hulkamania shirt. Whatever, though, right?
Well, at least you can read it.
I thought it was... I still think his character was one of those one-shot, one-opportunity type characters, but the crowd seems to care about him. They're caring about him a little bit more and more. But the next time they give him a title shot, he better win it. Otherwise, they'll stop caring about him. At D_Rizzle. Which moment was more major? Ranking them 1 to 3. Hogan body slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3. Austin stunning McMahon at MSG in 1997. Or Austin becoming the champion at WrestleMania 14. 1, 2, 3.
Mine's Austin becoming champ, Austin stunning McMahon, and Andre Hogan.
Is that 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Okay. You said 3 was what?
Austin becoming champ.
Okay, you know what? As a matter of fact, we both have the exact same 3, 2, 1. I think Hogan body slamming Andre was the most major moment. Stunning McMahon was number 2 because of what it set in motion, and then becoming the champ was number 3. At Savin Rivens Private. That's awesome. In your ideal world, who holds the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title after WrestleMania, and how? Well, we already know who. Go ahead and say it. Who do you want holding the WWE title after WrestleMania?
John Cena.
And we already know how.
Beats The Rock.
1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, blah, blah, blah. What about World Heavyweight Champion?
I didn't mind Mark Henry having the belt.
You don't want any repercussions from the cat, do you?
No, he's a white player.
In my ideal world, though, who would I have holding the WWE title after WrestleMania? At this point in time, probably would have been Ryback. And the World Heavyweight title, Mark Henry.
There is intimidating. Let's go to the next question.
At Cameron D12345, do you think there will ever be a TNA versus WWE storyline? No.
No. WWE won't stoop to that level.
It's a fair way to put it at this point. What would they really gain from it at this time?
Yeah.
Really see it. And who do you think was responsible for the Montreal Screwjob? Everybody involved. I still think it was a great big work. Bret Hart may not have been in on the work, but I think he got worked. At Chris Cody 8, who is the most underrated NBA player ever? He said, mine is Scottie Pippen. I think Scottie Pippen.
That actually is what I was going to say, because the other night I was watching Family Guy, and they're like, I feel like Scottie Pippen, you're Michael Jordan. And they're like, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Yeah, he's pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Why didn't they have Scottie Pippen come out first? Alphabetical. Oh, that makes sense.
Come out to what?
When they were announcing them. You would have had to watch it.
Yeah, because technically Pippen did get used to get announced before Jordan. Anywho!
I wonder why.
It's because they had to have the big ovation from North Carolina. That guard, 6'6", Michael Jordan. I used to be able to do a great Ray Clay, not so much anymore. Kids don't smoke. Most underrated NBA player ever. There are several. Scottie Pippen, I think, is one that doesn't get nearly the respect he deserves. I don't quite think Rodman gets the respect that he necessarily deserves. There's all types of guys. Another one that stands out for me, ironically enough, is Mark Price. They don't make white boys like that anymore. They just don't. That guy was a killer at point guard in the 80s and early 90s, man. He was a beast. Tom Chambers, another underrated player. There's many, many underrated players. At S_Steiner2, what do you think of the R.A. Dickey deal for the Blue Jays and the Rudy Gay deal for the Raptors? I think the R.A. Dickey deal for the Blue Jays, it was worth the chance. They see an opportunity to contend in that division in 2013. Are you looking at John Cena?
Yes, I am.
Because you don't care about baseball anymore.
That's true.
R.A. Dickey made sense for the Blue Jays. Yes, they gave up a lot in terms of prospects, in terms of Darnode and Syndergaard were the top 2 prospects they gave up, and a couple other guys. Made sense for the Mets, and it made sense for the Blue Jays. It was a good deal for both teams, in my opinion. As far as the Rudy Gay deal to the Raptors, I did not like that trade. I thought it was a stupid trade. I thought the Raptors were stupid for getting rid of him. Or, not the Raptors, the Grizzlies were stupid for getting rid of him. That's just the way I look at it. I don't see why they did that deal. I know there are reasons, but I don't agree with them. Here's another sports question, so just sit tight. At T_I_Nemec07, how do you think the Houston Astros will do in their new division, the AL West, this upcoming season? They'll be the 5th team in a 5-team division. I believe their opening day payroll right now is around $25 million. Team's going to be young. They'll be terrible. But at least they're going to be terrible and not have to spend a lot of money. They could, maybe win 60 games. Something like that. They're not going to be very good, though. At Robert Scott Reed, do you think WWE should go back to superstars facing nobodies on TV so they only face off at pay-per-views, which helps characters, storylines, etc.?
That'd be nice if we had more jobbers so that I didn't have to see fucking Daniel Bryan versus Chris Jericho every week.
Or even if you didn't do jobbers, like if you had to put a John Cena on television wrestling sometimes, instead of having him face off with like CM Punk in a tag match in the main event, maybe you do have John Cena go out there and he works against a JTG who's a heel, or Kurt Hawkins, or somebody like that.
It helps those guys at least for name recognition also.
Even if it associates them with always losing. But it does give them a chance to go in there with somebody that's more experienced. It gets them on TV, and it keeps those big matchups
important at pay-per-views.
So I think sometimes it's okay to have big matches on TV. I don't think you need to have them all the time. I think that's helps kill the business. But it would be nice. At Don_Bianco. If you guys could book Mania this year with the current players, what would be the main matches and stories? Let's just stick with the main matches. If you give me the 4 or 5 matches you would book on WrestleMania this year.
Taker versus Cena.
Okay. What would you do with Rock?
That's what I'm trying to decide right now. Because I don't want to see him versus Punk for the 3rd time. Probably Brock or Triple H.
What else? Or would you have Punk wrestle then?
I'd have Punk wrestle Ryback and actually have the clean finish.
Okay.
Or maybe have Punk take on the entire Shield.
Okay.
Prove that he's the main event guy, that he's the top dog.
All right. I will give you several matches. I still would like to see, I could give you almost the whole card off the top of my head without thinking about it too much. I still think Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara would be nice to see. Yeah, I agree. In theory, it would be nice to see.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan versus Kane.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Shield versus Triple H and the New Age Outlaws. I could live with Cena versus Rock. I really could. Taker versus Punk. Now, you know, fuck that. Give me Brock versus Cena 2. Give me Rock versus Punk to finish that out. And then give me... Yeah, it's without writing it down and really putting a lot of thought into this. You know, maybe I would sit there and have Taker versus Ryback. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. As far as WrestleMania, the way it looks right now, it looks like we're going to get a lot of rematches.
Yes, definitely.
We're going to be calling it Rematch-A-Mania, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Does it really matter? Are we putting too much into that?
I think it really depends how the show plays out. I mean, if we get the same results from each match, then it's like, what was the point?
Yeah.
And like everybody thinks Cena's going to win. I'd kind of like to see Rock win again.
I thought you were Cena again.
I am. Cena still can go out there and put on a hell of a match, but you want to fuck things up. Everybody's like, oh, Cena's going to go get the belt. Oh, look, Rock kept it. Fuck you, Internet.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as the rematch thing, though, it's kind of when almost all of your main matches could potentially be matches we've seen before. I don't think that's a good thing. No. It's nice to have 1 or 2 of your big matches be a special attraction, be a big deal, be something unique. If the show is put together well, it's structured well, the matches flow well, the card flows well, and it's just a good show, then maybe it's not as important. It'll be something in our minds, but it won't be the be-all, end-all.
Right.
But if the show... Like, the first hour of WrestleMania 28 was terrible. The matches weren't put together well. The card was really rushed. Time management was terrible. We thought watching it last year after that first hour, that show was going to be the absolute shits. But the big three matches, I think, really helped save that show.
And that had a repeat. We'd already seen Triple H versus Undertaker.
Twice.
Only one of those counts.
Well, they counted the second one after the second. Yeah. They counted the first one after the second match. They finally acknowledged it. You know, because even the WWE said, well, we didn't want people to think that it already happened, even though everybody knew it already had. I don't know. But it's whatever. Remember to continue to submit your questions to us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @OffTheRopeShow. Until next time, keep tweeting your questions to us.